La calidad del video es bastante mala. La calidad del video es muy mala.
Y a veces tu pantalla, por el sticker que estás poniendo, deja una gomita. Yo tuve que limpiarlo cada vez que tuve que usar, tuve que limpiar.
Ahí estoy hablando ya. Ya estoy conectado. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome. I will play a couple of tangos before everybody's in.
Mariano, it's Sylvie from Prague. I have a question.
Yes.
Will you record the session so we can then download it, or?
Yeah, I am recording it. Yes.
And if we want to see it again, you'll send us a link, or how does it work?
Yeah, I will upload it to YouTube and
okay, great.
the private channel, because I don't want to make it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay.
For those who
participate. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I will play one tango. Marisol, are you there?
Y Boedo antiguo y todo el cielo, Pompeya y más allá la inundación, tu melena de novia en el recuerdo y tu nombre flotando en el adiós, la esquina del herrero barro y pampa, tu casa, tu vereda y el zanjón y un perfume de susos y de alfalfa que me llena de nuevo el corazón. Sur, paredón y después sur, una luz de almacén y ya nunca me verás como me vieras recostado en la vidriera esperándote. Ya nunca alumbraré con las estrellas nuestra marcha sin querellas por las noches de Pompeya, las calles y las lunas suburbanas y mi amor y tu ventana, todo ha muerto, ya no sé. Juan y Boedo antiguo, cielo perdido, Pompeya y al llegar al terraplén, tus 20 años temblando de cariño, bajo el beso que entonces te robé, nostalgia de las cosas que han pasado, arena que la vida se llevó y pesadumbre del barrio que ha cambiado y amarguras del sueño que murió. Sur, paredón y después sur, una una luz de almacén. Ya nunca me verás como me vieras, recostado en la vidriera, esperándote. Ya nunca alumbraré con las estrellas nuestra marcha, sin querella por las noches de Pompeya. Las calles y las lunas suburbanas, y mi amor y tu ventana, todo ha muerto, ya no sé. El bolín de la calle Ayacucho, en mis tiempos de rana alquilaba. El bolín que la barra buscaba a caer por la noche a timbear. El bolín donde tantos muchachos en su racha de vida fulera encontraron marroco y catarera. Rechiflado parece llorar. El primo no me pasaba con su carga de aguardiente, y habiendo agua caliente, el mate era así, señor. No faltaba la guitarra bien encordada y lustrosa, ni el bacán de voz gangosa con berretín de cantor. El bolín de la calle Ayacucho ha quedado mistongo y fulero. Ya no se oye el cantor milonguero, engrupido su musa entonar. Y en el primus no bulle la pava que a la barra contenta reunía. Y el bacán de la errante alegría está seco de tanto llorar. Bolincito mistongo tirado en el fondo de aquel conventillo, sin alfombra, sin lujo y sin brillo, cuántos días felices pasé al calor del querer de una piba que fue mía, mimosa y sincera. Y una noche de invierno fulero, hasta el cielo de un vuelo se fue.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me properly? Thumbs up if you can hear me. Yes. Good. Fantastic. I will ask you, I will mute you so we don't have a feedback, and in case you need or you want to ask me a question, you can put a message in the chat, yeah, or unmute yourself and just ask me the question. Once in a while I will open for questions. Sorry, we are starting a little bit late because a lot of people register last minute, and yeah, 1 second. Yeah, and some people were not aware that they had to pay for this seminar. So everybody's desperate to get in. So a couple more minutes. Marisol is going to connect from Buenos Aires, and we are going to start. So, yes, I will play half a tango and we start, if it's okay for you. Marisol. Yeah, no half a tango. We try with Marisol. Marisol, are you there? So Marisol is a friend and a colleague from Buenos Aires, Marisol Canesa. She plays the violin in the Sexteto Milonguero. We used to play together in the Sexteto Milonguero and other orchestras. Hola Marisol.
Hola, aquí estoy. Aparecí.
Yeah. Can you play the violin so we see if everybody can hear you?
Sí, por favor. Okay.
All right. So, yeah, we have some people, but yeah, I don't know what's going on. So, even people who pay. Anyway, so what we can do now is just start, and slowly those who are missing, they will join us, hopefully. Anyway, so welcome. Thank you very much for being today in this webinar, the Fundamentals 1. If you don't know me, I am Mariano Laplume. I am a dancer and a former musician. I used to play the violin in the Sexteto Milonguero and other orchestras. And now I live in Rotterdam in the Netherlands. I'm a tango dancer. I work in part of my school, but I used to work before the corona in London in my school. And I work in Rotterdam, Amersfoort, and Amsterdam in the Netherlands. So in the beginning of this set of talks that started in March, when the corona started, we did one tango music fundamentals that it was around 2 hours, covering all the basics, the rhythmic bass elements and the expressive elements in tango music. But after doing around 15 orchestras, specific orchestras from Pugliese to Troilo, D'Arienzo, Tanturi, and last week was Franchini. We decided to go ahead with the extended version because we found out that we could add a lot of material of individual orchestras to these fundamentals. So that's why we are doing it in 2 weeks. This week is going to be the rhythmic bass pattern. So that means that it's everything that the musicians play or create to try to emulate the drums or percussion that would be in other popular music. And the following week will be about expressive elements, everything that is about dynamics, texture, number of instruments playing, phrasing, variation, different kind of endings, and some special features that the orchestras share elements. This is going to work in this way. We are going to talk about certain elements, and then I will open for questions. You can send a question in the side, in the chat, and to try to keep certain kind of flow. I am not going to cut every other concept, but every 4 or 5 concepts. Or if you want to share the question with all of us, of course, you can unmute yourself and just ask it, and we are not a big group today, So it's good. We can take a little bit longer, and I hope it's all right with you. We will for sure extend. So I'm thinking what I'm going to cut today because we have a lot of material. Okay. So one last question, and we start. Someone else is trying to get in. Yes, good. Right. Any question? No? Yeah, good. So basically this seminar the content of this seminar will be today about the rhythmic bass. The rhythmic bass means all the elements that musicians in tango orchestras use to create the sense of rhythm and variations about that. The function of the bass is realized in tango in the orquesta típica. This is what we are going to talk about, mainly from the music that we hear in the milonga, yeah, from the 30s, 40s, 50s, maybe something the 60s. The function of the rhythmic bass relies in the piano and the contrabass. Yeah, this is important to know. Although the contrabass is a string instrument, in tango, the main function is as part of the bass. The bass means it will emulate, create a kind of rhythmic approximation to create the sense of rhythm and some variety on that. Yeah, so something that we are going to work with is start with the sense of tempo or the movement of the tempo, the movement of the beat. So there are a couple of elements or a couple of aspects that we can consider when we are talking about the tempo. One is the speed in itself, if it's fast or slow. This is the main thing that we have come to mind when we are thinking about the tempo. But not only that, is first the sense of speed is always in relation to other piece when we are talking about tango. And the other aspect is if the tempo is moving or is not moving. That means if it's speeding up, if it's slowing down, if there is a sudden stop or frenada, or if there is a sudden acceleration, that is adelantada. All these are elements from basic is for a very regular beat to a very movable or variable beat are the elements that the musicians have to create, to use the beat in an expressive way. So what we can do is explain some of these different conceptions in tango music and give you some examples about the tempo. So when we listen Argentine tango, and especially for us, I guess most of us are milongueros or people with experience in dancing Argentine tango. The easiest way to have an appreciation of the tempo or the beat is thinking from the fixed tempo. That fixed tempo means that from the beginning to the end of a piece, in this case tango, the tempo remains regular. So that makes for us as milongueros things a little bit easier. So we don't have to think if the tempo is slowing down, speeding up, if there is a sudden slowing down or adelantada or sudden speeding up. Here, the concept, I will show you some examples, different orchestras, different eras to have a perception of this fixed tempo. This is something, of course, that all the orchestras do or keep, but some add more variations of the use of the beat to create a little bit more beauty. So let's start with the fixed tempo with one example of Juan D'Arienzo, that is the king of the beat, with La Bicoca. So now try to feel at home to count yourself. I'm not going to count because when I count, there's going to be a kind of delay. When I count, when you count, try to feel if the beat is regular, if it's moving, if it's slowing down. I will show you one example with Juan D'Arienzo, La Bicoca. And so on. Couple more examples with D'Arienzo, and then we move on. This is 9 de julio. Here, see another orchestra, the other end of the speed, let's say, is Carlos Di Sarli. This is Viviani. Fairly, can you get the regularity, fixed tempo? There's not a lot of movement, always a little bit of like a breathing thing because it's not a machine, but humans playing. But yes, regular. Quickly, I will jump. Caló, for example, a las 7 en el café. Other example, Mariposita by Ricardo Tanturi. Guapeando by Aníbal Troilo. This Troilo is a little bit more evolutionist kind of orchestra, but the same regular Guapeando. And so on. So you see, I have more examples. You can find this everywhere. This is the base, at the base of Argentine tango, the regularity of the beat. That's why tango was so popular for dancers. Now, they have a second way of looking at the tempo is when the tempo is flexible. Flexible means that it can slow down or it can speed up, still within certain kind of level of predictability, but it's not fixed. Yeah, and here's when we, as a dancer, we have to start to pay a little bit more attention. So I will start with Mi Noche Triste by Aníbal Troilo with Rivero. Now, again, try to count. You will find that there is a slowing down before the voices start. and so on. So you see the function of this movement of the beat. This is slowing down. So we create the conditions for the singer to enter and to make a little bit bigger contrast. It's not regular pam pam and the singer is just jumping, but everything is slowing down. So we create a kind of extra attention. Oh, what's going to happen? And the singer, so this exaggerate the effect of the singer entering. Yeah, this is what we talk about when we talk about expression. Yeah, couple more examples. En esta tarde gris, again, Troilo with Goyeneche.
Qué ganas de llorar en esta tarde gris, en su repiquetear la lluvia habla de ti, remordimiento de saber que por mi culpa nunca, vida, nunca te veré, mis ojos al cerrar.
So again, from the beginning, you see slowing down and then speed up again when the singer starts. One more time, en esta tarde gris, Goyeneche y Troilo.
Qué ganas de llorar en esta tarde gris.
So do you feel the pibria papira, pampibria papira, pampibria papum, tum, tum, wom, and again all the orchestra. That's the moment of the like recovering the beat a little bit. There's a question on this: slow down, or the piano and the contrabass is playing. So there is nobody more who plays the beat. Well, sometimes when nobody else is playing the beat, I am reading a question of this around there. Not necessarily means that if the bass is not playing, that the beat is completely disappear. Because if the beat is coming, it's moving, pam, 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 boom. There's no one else. There's like a psychological extension, if you like, of the sense of beat, because the music doesn't stop completely. There's a preparation to feel that sense of slowing down. And in the other hand, sometimes the other instruments are keeping the beat, like maybe the violins or the bandoneons. Yeah. Steven, that is clear that for you? Yeah. I will show you some examples with stop beat when the bass is not playing, but we still feel the sense of beat very clearly with a lot of examples. Yeah. So let's go. Tempo, yes. Flexible. One more example, this time with Franchini Pontier. This is Remolino. Try to count from the beginning. This is a very nice version of that we discussed last week, Remolino, Franchini Pontier. Clear? This is remolino, yes. So you see, of course, you have to compare this, what we are listening, with the fixed tempo. No, fixed tempo was chop, chop, super clear. The bass was always being very regular. There's not much variation in terms of the rhythmic bass patterns that they are doing. In general, it's more marcato in 2 or marcato in 4. And we can hear the hit all the time. These orchestras, they have more variation in the rhythmic bass pattern. And that's why it's not so easy to get when the thing is slowing down, because we cannot count like this and feel the slowing down with the bandoneon is not doing chop, chop, chop. Sometimes there's nothing there, but the sense of beat is moving, yeah? Okay, and there's a very nice version of Remolino that is very regular, that is the Angelis. That's the one that is more standard for the milongas, I mean for the DJs, tango DJs who play. Yeah, I play more this because I like it musically more. Okay, clear about this idea of flexible tempo? Yeah, and now we go to the devil in tempo. It's Pugliese when the tempo is variable. And we jump straight to the idea of rubato. Rubato, when we talk about rubato, we are saying there is no a predictable pattern when the beat is moving. Flexible, we could feel the rate of how was slowing down. So maybe it was a little bit easier to follow, or when it's starting to speed up, so we can guess more or less how it's going to be. When we talk about variable tempo, especially in Osvaldo Pugliese, when he used a lot of rubato, we talk about the conductor of the orchestra directing at will. At will means there is no way to know exactly how it's going to be moving the tempo. Yeah. So this is very important, and that's why sometimes Pugliese is one of the orchestras that we, at least in the beginning, we are a little bit more reluctant to dance, because it has this element that is expressively is beautiful, and we love it very much, but at the same time it's very difficult to feel that you are putting your feet in the right place. Yeah, and it's because of this sense of variable tempo, when there's no clear and clear stimulus to put your feet in one specific place. It's directed at will. That's what we can say. It's a capricho in Spanish. And we were talking a while ago with Roberto Alvarez. He's the conductor, bandoneonist conductor of Color Tango, and he used to play with Osvaldo Pugliese, and he said that sometimes the rehearsal for the musicians for some musicians were very boring, because they were spending maybe 2 hours in 2 bars trying to make one of these things, these sections with the beat moving all the time perfect. Yeah, so everybody was waiting for the bandoneons to do it right, and well, the results are very beautiful. So no more talking. Variable tempo in Osvaldo Pugliese. I will show you with Junta de Oro. So now try to count, and you will find that it's difficult to get it. Some parts are, of course, regular, but I have the examples right into the place. All right, Junta de Oro. so on. Could you get how the speeding up, slowing down, or regular, then moving forward, back? So that's the challenge. That's Junta de Oro. More examples how to feel it. La mariposa. And that's it. That's the moment where and then goes back to regular. Yeah. But yeah. One last example about this. Bien milonga, right from the beginning. And so on. So you see, we be going forward and back. If you try to count it, you will have to struggle. It's a question of feeling it, and of course, maybe knowing the track a little bit more, give more time to Pugliese. And this Bien Milonga it has an introduction to what we call adelantada. Adelantada is some kind of beforehand, we can say. The beat is pam, 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 pam. So it comes a little bit earlier than it should if we think regularly. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's adelantada or speeding up, we can call it. So again, impossible to guess. There's no pattern that you can follow. I say, okay, this is going to come. Is it speeding up or if it's slowing down? That's why it's very sudden, and it's slightly different in terms of concept because it exists as an expressive element and a rhythmic element also in the bass. But yeah, it's very almost exclusive of Pugliese, at least in the orchestras that we are used to here in the Milonga. Yeah, so I will play this again, and you will find I will point to the moment where they say adelantada. Yeah, Bien Milonga. So you see, jump, jump. That jump, make you jump from the chair. Well, yeah, that's the reason. Again. try to count a little bit before, and you stay regular, you will see how comes a little bit earlier than the count. One last time. Clear? No? Yeah? Can you get it? Because it's quite subtle. It's not a huge thing, but if you are counting normally, it's like they are eating part of the time, no? Yeah, it's a good question. Is this a tempo acceleration or accent before the beat? Well, it's a little bit of both, but it's like they are that it's not an acceleration, because it's like you are listening the music and suddenly jumps to the next beat. It's not it goes up from well, we can't say it's an acceleration, but how to put it, the speed remains the same. It's just eating one part of the time, not the beat, the time in the clockwise. Yeah, so it's just one part of the beat just disappears and keeps regular. It's, let's say, it's in the in 60 seconds, pam pam pam, like seconds, pim pim, and pam pam pam, remains the same. It's like when the in the vinyl the thing jumps, the time remains the same, but there's one part that is missing. It goes to other universe. Something like that. Make sense? It makes sense, Marisol?
Yes, it's actually musical terms is an accent in the weak part of the bar. So it's in the 4. So you cannot listen the 1. So the feeling is that the 1 is before that it should be. That's why 1, 2, 3, 4, and suddenly you are in the next bar.
Yeah. It goes to other universe. To Villa Crespo. Okay. One more example about this, that is in Shumba. This is Don Agustin Bardi. There. Again. Did you get this? That's a adelantada. Yeah. And one, no, I think we are all right with this. Clear what is happening here. There is like a very sudden sense of speeding. The next beat is becoming earlier than we expect. It's not speeding up. Okay, it's adelantada. Okay, frenada. Sí. Let's leave that. All right. Any question up to this point? No? Any comment, Marisol? No? Good. All right. So now we are going to move, try to move a little bit faster with the rhythmic bass pattern. So what that means is the musician, we have different ways of organizing the accents into the music. In tango, we have 4 beats for each bar. And depending where are we putting the accents, we call it these patterns in a different way. We have marcato en 4 or marcato in 4, marcato in 2, and variations of all these 2 and syncopations, of course, and some variations within the syncopation. Yeah, so the main rhythmic bass pattern that the musicians use is called marcato en 4. That means that we put an accent with equal articulation and volume in the 4 beats of the bar. This is called marcato en 4, and that's the basic. Every orchestra has this, not only orchestras, other kind of groups, trios, cuartetos, quintetos. The marcato en 4 is at the base of the rhythmic pattern. So we have 2 different ways of playing this marcato en 4, depending of the articulation. Articulation means is how is being said, what is said, and the length of the notes. If each of these 4 accents are short, we call it staccato. Staccato means a short note, chi, chi, chi. And in the other side, we have sustain, that is o legato, pim, 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 chi, 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 pim, pim, pim. And visually, just to have a reference, something like this. We have the 4 beats. Yeah. In terms of sound, sustain, legato will be pim, 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 longer lasting notes, and staccato, chip, 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 chip. Yeah. That's simple as that. And Marisol now, she maybe wants to show a little bit the staccato in a marcato en 4 or marcato in 4, where there are 4 accents for each bar.
I will check the short one, the staccato. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the one that is legato normally is played by the double bass, and most of the time played with the fingers in a way that is called pizzicato. So in this way you can keep the sound in this way.
If you want to show them how is a legato or long notes, with the bow and staccato.
Okay.
That's legato.
The last one was staccato and the first one legato.
So you see, the regularity is the same. The beat is the same, the length of the note changed. And this, of course, changed completely the general sensation in the music. Different instruments doing this, at least at the bass, will sound a different way. Why? Because the piano, the contrabass, because of the nature of the instrument, the strings are much longer. When you play pizzicato, instead of with the bow, they remain boom. The sound lasts potentially longer than in the violin. Yeah. The piano, the same. In the piano, you can play pim, pam, pim, pam, pim, pam, pam, pam. Or you can play pam, pam, boom, 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 boom. So one note, the next note will start almost at the same time when the last one finished. This finish, this start. This finish, this start. In staccato is chip, tip, tip, tip. Some instruments, like the piano, can make a huge difference in the articulation. With the violin, at least playing in the bass, as a bass, the marcato in quattro is a little bit less easier to get it. Yeah, it's not, we're not saying it's not possible, but it's the piano and the contrabass are those who carry on that task.
Jamás retornarás.
Jamás retornarás. Para staccato. Okay, so as Marisol asked, I will play Jamás retornarás to show the marcato en cuatro, the version of Caló. Equal level volume of the sound, that's dynamic. Each the accents are all the same, so it's very clearly the 4 beats stated. So when I am giving the examples, try to count it at home. I will play it again. Jamás retornarás. This is Caló's version. So on. I will show you now a little bit faster with this articulation staccato, that means short notes, piano, contrabass, and if the orchestra, the rest of the orchestra is supporting, everything sounds the same. Let's start with La Bicoca by D'Arienzo. Lunes by De Angelis. More examples. Lawrence, Que nunca me falte. Another example. Tanturi, comparsa criolla. More example, La Maleva, Biaggi. Suyo Brujo, Héctor Varela. So, yeah, there's a good question there about the strong accent. The natural accent in tango, natural in the music, is always in the first and the third. But in order to create the the musicians, they are trying to create a physical stimulus, and they put an accent also in the second and the fourth. So they create this sense of regularity and keep the balance, because the key is different orchestras, depending of which instrument is playing in the marcato in 4, and with which articulation. That means if they are playing, for example, pizzicato, the contrabass, or with the bow, the kind of quality of the sound and the stimulus for the dancer will be different. All these that I played are marcato in 4 because the accents are more or less the same in the 4 beats, but different instruments are playing it, or with different kind of articulation within a range of staccato. Yeah, and that's what makes the difference with the different styles. Otherwise, all the orchestras will play the same. If always the piano is playing exactly the same way, and the contrabass always playing in the same way, there's going to be no difference between Tanturi and Pugliese and anyone else. So these small details are what make a difference. And now we are going to move on. So you see the more options that you have is where the variety and beauty lies. Yeah. So
Can I add something?
yeah.
And actually, it's not always an accent in each beat, but the feeling is that it's all the time the same. For example, if you listen to D'Arienzo, he will put an accent. Every note has an accent, and is marcato in 4. But Caló also is in marcato in 4, but very much delicate, like so the idea is that you cannot feel any difference in the music in every beat. It's always the same. Pam, 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 or pam, 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 pam. But you can feel all the beats.
Thank you, Marisol. Yeah. That's the articulation, how it's being said. That if D'Arienzo is screaming it, it sounds a little bit more assertive in a way, no? Than Caló. Caló is regular, maybe the articulation is not that assertive as, to say it in a way, in comparison to D'Arienzo, but still remains a marcato in 4. Yeah, because it's a little bit more gentle, the articulation, how it's being said, but it's the same kind of marcato. So what makes it different is in styles is how it's being said. It's always in relation first to the same orchestra and in relation to other orchestras. Yeah, when you play a marcato in 4 done by Troilo, it doesn't sound the same than in D'Arienzo or Biaggi. Yeah, because some orchestras have more the intention is more to create extra harsh percussive effect, so the dancers get it very quickly, like D'Arienzo. This is something that you can get very easy in the milonga. When D'Arienzo is playing, automatically you feel the need to do this because it's so clearly defined, the kind of articulation and what he is asking from you. Caló is a little bit more gentle. He gives you a little bit of time to, okay, I can. So this is the stimulus. It's a little bit the through certain differences in articulation, they create a physical and a psychological stimulus to the dancer. Yeah, this is what we are trying to do. It's not everything like black and white. It's a lot of this is psychological more than anything else. All right, so we talk about staccato. Now we can go to sustain. Sustain means, in general, to put it very simple, that the contrabass keeps boom, 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 boom. remains, the sound remains, it's not boom, 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 but it's boom, 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 and the piano also, yeah? So the best example with this articulation is realizing Troilo, but not only, Gobi also, and other more. So we can play Garua, a version of Troilo with Fiorentino, and later I will play it in comparison to Garua of Lawrence. Can you hear the boom, bim, 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 boom, keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. That's sustained because the sound is sustained. And this creates a completely different effect. And the stimulus is asking something different from the dancer than cha, 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 than boom, 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 boom. It's a sensation of openness, of space, of movement. Yeah? In terms of what I'm going to dance, if I hear this kind of articulation, it's different than if I hear more staccato. Yes, Marisol.
I would like to say something that is also called el bajo caminado, the walking bass, like in jazz. If you listen to jazz music, you will feel that it's similar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's like walking.
It feels, bajo caminado is like a walking bass. No Walking Dead, walking bass. All right, a couple more examples so we get this and then we compare. La Maleva, again, Troilo. Another example. El Tobiano, Franchini Pontier. And so on. Can you get it there? It's a little bit more complicated because rhythmically more challenging, but still it's boom, boom, boom. Like this sensation more than this. Gobi, Franchini, Troilo, Gobi use this articulation a lot. El Engobiado. And again, can you get it? Bim, boom, 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 bim, boom, boom, boom. The piano keeps going, boom, boom. The sound is there. And that difference is huge. One more time. El Engobiado. El Engobiado by Orquesta Alfredo Gobi. So I want to show now the difference between this, so you can get of Garua sustained by Troilo. And now Garua staccato by Lawrence. Troilo. clear the difference? More or less, yeah. So this is very, 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 very important because this defines the kind of sound in tango. The modern tango tends to be more with the sustain. Modern, I mean the new orchestras, the orchestras that don't play the hits. I mean, they don't play covers. If the Juan D'Arienzo, for example, they are trying to copy exactly the style of the orchestra of Juan D'Arienzo, so they will play staccato. They won't play sustain, otherwise they will be doing the style wrong. Yeah. So the more modern Franchini, Gobi, Troilo, a little bit of Pugliese also, especially you can get it easily in the late Pugliese, like after the 50s. Okay. Let's move a little bit forward. So there are different variations of this of the idea of the marcato in 4. I want to talk about something that the bass, how the bass plays makes a huge difference in terms of the result of the sound. There are two main ways of playing the bass. Is the pizzicato, as we said, as Marisol was showing. Pizzicato is pizzicato, and you have a couple of different ways. But if you play horizontally to the instrument like this, it will have a kind of sound. If you play away, then you feel like the percussive effect of the string, and here you can hear clearly the note, and here it's not only the note, but the note plus that slap. That's called slap. In the contrabass is much more notorious. Marisol, you have a cut in your back. So the more, this is a percussive effect, of course. The more traditionalist orchestras, they use it much more, especially D'Arienzo, but not only D'Arienzo, to create this effect of sharpness. That's like a super staccato, and to generate this extra stimulus into the dancer. Yeah. So I will show you how it sounds by itself in the contrabass, and later with the orchestra, because sometimes they're not easy to get it with the whole orchestra playing on top, but the result in the stimulus is always present. So slap in the bass. This is Chape Chou, D'Arienzo. Could you get it one more time? Yeah, clear. That's the effect created. It's more than a pitch of the note. What the bassist is trying to enhance is that sense of sharpness. That is really a percussive. It's like percussive instrument at that time instead of being a melodic instrument. We can say that the contrabass is a melodic instrument. A couple more examples. Indiferencia, this is with Biaggi, and this is with the whole orchestra on top. Oh no, let's put it A la luz del candil with Acuña. Biaggi again. Can you get it? string in the instrument. One more time. A la luz de un candil, Biachi. One last example, again, coming back to D'Arienzo, and this is much more clear because this is a little bit late, D'Arienzo. Homero. And El Internado. We finish with this. So, clear this idea of slap. This is at extreme, like just almost a percussive effect. Then you have the pizzicato, that it has a kind of a pitch, and then you have a lot of articulations with the bow. Yeah. Let me show you how it sounds in a modern version. This is Sur with Troilo and Goyeneche. You will see the contrabass is doing it's really deep into the string. So from that slap to a very clear biting of the bow in the string. Yeah, here that is a contrabass. Yeah, and there is completely different kind of intention, of course, in the musicians, and it has a little bit a different kind of beauty. Yeah, the other is more a percussive effect for the dancers. So with all these resources plus the piano changing, we can go to different patterns of where the musicians put the accents. This will create, again, different kind of stimulus. We can go to what is called offbeat, that we have this base of marcato en cuatro, that where the accents are placed in the more or less in the 4 beats of the bar. But what happens when this change? When there is just an accent in the 2nd beat of the bar, or in the 2nd and the 4th, that is where normally are the weak beats, if is something, or sometimes there is an accent in the 4th beat and the 1st of the next. Question? Yeah, there's a good question here. Stephen is asking about if it's a conductor or the musician who decides who plays the notes. Well, it's a little bit of in general, it's the director. To generalize a lot, the director will create the sense of style depending of how much influence the musicians have. Depending of the style, you know that the kind of syncopation that you are going to do, it will be more or less within certain idea. The kind of marcato is going to be, if you play in D'Arienzo, you know that you are not going to play sustain, unless stated you play staccato in the marcato en cuatro. In Troilo, especially Troilo after 45, you know that you play sustain unless stated the opposite, because you want to remain within the style. Sometimes it's the arreglador or the arranger. The arreglador is the person who puts all these elements together and creates the arrangement. Yeah, that is all these elements. You can add a little bit more, a little bit less, sustain, a little some syncopation, how you use the violins, how you use the voices, and depending of the knowledge and the kind of style, it will be a more simple arrangement or simple version of a tango, or a more complicated or complex, like Troilo is more complex in general than D'Arienzo, or Pugliese, late Pugliese is much more complex than Biaggi or Canturi. Yeah, and this depends on the director and the arreglador. But even the arreglador will make the arrangement, and the filter will be the conductor. Yeah, in general. Okay, let's move on. So let's talk about this offbeat when the accents are placed. We said now we talk about the marcato in cuatro. The accents now are placed in what we can say random places, where are not the usual places. This creates a very strong effect into the dance. So let's start with when the accent is in the, this is offbeat, in the second and the fourth beat. This is something that most orchestras use at some point. Some orchestras use it as quite a lot, like Biaggi, and a little bit less D'Arienzo, but Biaggi has a brand on this, of the off beats. Yeah, so I will show you how it sounds. This is El Entrerriano, and try to count, and I will count for you. Hopefully it's not that big the jump. So El Entrerriano, Rodolfo Biaggi, offbeat. How you have to listen this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it feels a little bit like a wonky, no? But that's purposely done, and it's a brand in Biaggi. Again, count, try to count, remain strong when you feel that change. Other example, Pura Clase. Again, Biaggi. Could you get it? Yeah. Boom, cha, cha. But not only Biaggi. This is Tinta Verde by Troilo. But there's a catch with this, but let's have a look. Yeah, could you get it? Pa, pa, pip, 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 pa, pa, pa. Same tango, but Lucio de Mare. Again, this you will see is a completely different articulation. Still, the accent is in the second and the fourth, but much milder. Tinta Verde, same tango, de Mare. So it's almost disappeared the second pa, pim, pipa, pipa, pa, it's almost gone. This is more part of the tango Tinta Verde that I think is part of the original composition. Something similar about this, that's not exactly the same, but within the family, this is Junta de Oro, cha, pa, Osvaldo Pugliese. And that's it. So it's not exactly the same thing in nature, but you see, in this case, the accent is being placed by the violins and the bandoneons who are doing they are extending the melody. Yeah, it's not the same, but it's good to point to. And one last example. This is Nada Más with D'Arienzo with the Chahua. And again. Any problem with this? Can we move? I will speed up a little bit. Now, in the family of the offbeat, Marisol, any comment? I can see you. I can hear you.
Okay, that any comment about the offbeat? That just to say that is something that we use when we rehearsal, and as Mariano said before, and not only Biaggi use it, but is one of the most elements he uses. So anytime we want to play it off the beat, we say, okay, let's play one Biaggi, because we know it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, cha, cha. So we don't say out of 2 and 4 off beat, we just say, let's play Biaggi, because we know that is cha, cha,
Yeah.
out of the.
The thing is, sometimes to make the instruction within the rehearsal easier, instead of saying, oh, we put the accent in the second and the fourth, and or you write it, you just say, this is like Biaggi, and that's it. And you know what that means. Why? Because Biaggi, if you hear most of the tangos, he has this kind of figures, the kind of accentuation in the second and the fourth. Keeps going, pa, pa. Yeah. So to make it easier, we call it Biaggi. Like Shumba, for example, is something used a lot by Pugliese. When you say Shumba, you don't explain the whole articulation. When you know what it is, you just play it. Shumba like Pugliese, or Marcado like Pugliese, and you know what they are doing. Or you say Marcado like D'Arienzo, and you know that it's staccato, marcato en cuatro staccato. Or you know Marcado like Troilo, you know that it's sustained instead of staccato.
And
Yeah?
actually, I was asking about if this is decided by the conductor or a musician. If we are playing in an orchestra who plays, for example, Caló style, and we see the marcato in 4, we know that we have to play in the very delicate way as not in the D'Arienzo, for example. We see the same beat of 4 and we know how to play.
Yeah.
And there is another question that if Biaggi used always offbeat, yes, but he not used it all the time. It's only 2 or 1 or 2 bars. There is one song that is all the time ta, that the dancers don't know what to do, but it's not more than 2 bars.
In general, thank you, Marisol. In general, the marcato en 4 is at the base of like in let's say 3 minutes of a tango, 60% more or less will be marcato en 4, some kind of variation of marcato en 4 at least. Some orchestras like D'Arienzo will use it more, yeah, and some syncopation and other stuff that we are going to see now. Some other orchestras are more complex. So they use marcato en 4 a little bit, but they use shumba like Pugliese. Bit of marcato en 4, shumba, 3-3-2, habanera, syncopation, different formats of syncopation. So the more number of rhythmic-based patterns, the music becomes more complex. Yeah, that's why again Pugliese is more difficult to follow because it has a lot. It's not just chum 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 from the beginning to the end that is easy to follow. It's changing all the time. So on top of all the changes that are happening in the melody, we have to deal with the changes in the rhythmic bass. It's like the drums are doing boom ba boom ba boom ba ta and they're changing all the time, like getting crazy, like in jazz. No, they start to do very weird rhythmic patterns, and the drums, yeah, it's difficult to follow if you are not very specialist listener. Yeah, and in tango it's the same. The more complex the music, the more it's going far away from the dancers. Anyway, let's keep moving because we have a lot more. Let's go to the 4-1. 4-1 means the accent is in the 4th beat of the bar. And I will show you the best example, that is Belgica, again with Biaggi. Here, there's no better example of this. 4-1-2, 4-1-2-3, 4-1. Even the 1 is not that strong. The 4 is super strong. And again, this creates a different kind of stimulus that it will happen when you are 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. It's not adelantada. It's just a higher volume, different articulation, more accent in the 4th. Yeah, and then there's a conduction to the 1 because of such a big thing. One more, listening to this and a couple of examples of other orchestras. So on. Other examples, it's not exclusive of Biaggi. Biaggi uses it a lot. So most of the time when you see a repetition of this like that, is 90% Biaggi. But for example here, this is Barro with Morán, Osvaldo Pugliese, from the beginning. And again, one more time, it's more subtle. It's not that brutal as with Biaggi. And so on. Yeah, it's a little bit more subtle. Other example, this is only one, so it's going to be fast. This is Nada Más Que Un Corazón, Lawrence with Bermúdez. That's it. One more time. Clear the idea? Yeah. Again, if Biaggi use it almost like he's hitting something. It's a very much a percussive kind of effect. In other orchestras, it's a little bit milder, but still present is part of the language in tango music. Okay, let's move. Where are we? Okay, yeah, let's talk about the 3-3-2, 3-3-3. No, let's go to Habanera because this is important. So, anybody is familiar with Habanera? What is Habanera? Habanera sounds like this. Pam, pirim, pum, pim, param, pam, pam, turim, tum, tum. This is a rhythmic based pattern that is called Habanera, and we know it very much from the milonga. Yeah, the milonga porteña use a lot the Habanera. Pum, parim, pam, pam, param, pam. But that kind of rhythmic pattern, it doesn't equal milonga. Yeah, this is something that existed before the milonga, and it's a pattern that is used in the milonga a lot. Yeah. See, Marisol, no, I know. So this Habanera comes from the Habana and has a lot of influence in Latin American music, and we are going to hear some examples of the Habanera first in the milonga. You know this. So milonga sentimental with Canaro. So you see, it's a rhythmic based pattern used in milonga and in tangos. Milonga sentimental. Le dice de mí, Quirincho. Very clear, well, we know this. And in milongas, very fast milongas also present. This is Volada de Aficionado, milonga by Juan D'Arienzo. So when it's very fast, the articulation changes a little bit from in to parim pam pum. It has a swing that is nicer. These milongas that are very fast, cha 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 cha. So it doesn't let you rest that much. Yeah, and you can find in YouTube many different habaneras that are habaneras from Cuban music, that or la habanera from Bizet. So what happened with that is how you articulate that and where you put the accents will make the big difference. As we are doing in the Marcato in 4, how you articulate And where you put a little bit more accent here and there will make a huge difference. It's not secret. So now in tango, Organito de la Tarde, right from the beginning with Carlos Di Sarli. Can you get it? One more time, Organito de la Tarde. And so on. A couple more examples, how it sounds. This is Franchini Pontier, Adiós Marinero, Adiós. Under the violin solo, one more time. Clear this habanera, pim, parim, pam, pam. This the habanera was the primigenial kind of rhythmic-based pattern in tango. In the proto-tango, the habanera was the main, instead of the marcato en cuatro, was the habanera. So I can show you a couple of examples. This is Pacho Maglio, more than 100 years old recording, Emancipación. Another example, Maglio again. There is again articulation chum cha chum 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 cha chum cha cha. It's even more simple. It's very flat, if you want. It doesn't have that contrast in terms of accents. Yeah, but this is the primigenial tango. That format was bandoneon, flute, and guitar. I think it is. Yeah, so it's a very old recording. Okay. Good to point to this. Habanera in general now is not widely used. Pugliese use it quite a bit. And the thing with habanera is from the habanera, it opened a couple of rhythmic-based patterns, other rhythmic-based patterns that are the 3-3-2, 3-3-2, 3-3-3, and Bordoneo. Let me put the light on so you can see me. I hope that's a little bit better. Okay, let's start with the 3-3-2. Let me show you this. 3-3-2 is a irregular, we create an irregular pattern into the regular beat of 4 beats in the bar, tango bar. We create it irregular. 3-3-2 sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, pum, pum, pim, pum, 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 pum. How it looks, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is marcado en 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 3, 2. We make a subdivision. We put 2 notes. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. And if we change the accentuation, we put the accent in 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's 3, 3, 2. It's 3, 3, 2. The groups are in 3, 3, and 2. That's why it's called 3, 3, 2. And let's have a look how this sounds in the music. For sure you recognize it. Piazzolla used it a lot, but he's not the only one. This was widely used in tango. So this is...
How the manera is coming to... ahí está Mariano. Hi, Mariano.
I don't know what happened. Sorry, but I'm back. Okay. What you were saying, Marisol, about the habanera?
Becomes to in 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
If you want.
Yes. I was going there. So, pam, tarim, pam, pam, param, pam. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, pam, parim, pam, pam, param, pam. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So with that kind of format, you change a little bit the accent and it becomes 3, 3, 2. Yeah. So one example, Negracha by Osvaldo Pugliese. Did you get it? It's a very long section. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. One more time. And so on. Could you get it? It's super strong. It has a lot of punch, and again creates a lot of sense of movement. Yeah, it's a stimulus for the dancer to move. Sometimes we don't have that much space in the milonga, and that's why it's difficult to do something as a dancer. Even for me as a leader, I say, okay, the music is asking me something, and I don't have the space to do that. That's why some of these puglieses are very good for performance, because you have a lot of room. You can really, the narrative of the music, you can put it into the movement. Yeah, doesn't mean that it's not possible. You can do it as a milonguero, but it's a little bit more challenging. Couple more examples of these 3, 3, 2. Buen amigo Aníbal Troilo. And that's it. Was very short in the beginning, sort of something in between the habanera and the 3, 3, 2. Yo soy el tango with Caló. Very short one also.
El tango milongo, nacido en los suburbios malevos y turbios. Hoy que estoy en el salón, me saben amansado, dulzón y cansado.
Could you get it one more time?
Milongo, nacido en los suburbios malevos y turbios. Hoy que estoy en el salón, me saben amansado, dulzón y cansado.
Yeah? Yeah, clear. One last example. Franchini Pontier. Let's see what. La Beba. And that's it. Was a little bit of percussion there. One more time. And that's it. Clear the idea of the 3-3-2. You can find a lot of 3-3-2 in Pugliese. Yeah, lot of, especially the orchestras that are more modern. In general, use a little bit more of the 3-3-2. As a general rule, it's not a truth written in stone, because other very old orchestras like Julio De Caro use the 3-3-2 also. But when we talk about adding variation to the rhythmic base, Troilo, Franchini, Pugliese use it a lot. Yeah, especially Pugliese in his own compositions like Negracha and Malandraca, especially. Now we are going to 3-3-3. That this, if 3-3-2 was 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2, and the irregularity will finish in the bar. It will remain within the bar. If it's 3-3-3, it's 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2, 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2-3, and keeps going. Yeah, beyond the bar. So again, this breaks the kind of if it keeps going to become regular again, you need 2 bars instead of 1 bar, like in the 3-3-2. And again, as a dancer, this is a little bit more rare, but it's worth to point it, given that we have very good examples with Pugliese, 3-3-3. This is Malandraca, 3-3-3. I think from the beginning, yeah. Yeah, clear. One more time. One more example, very rare one, Aló in Cambalache. That was Caló. One more time. Any question about this 3-3-2 and 3-3-3? That is a kind of a variation of the habanera, is within the same family. No? Okay. I hope you can extend a little bit, because we have still a lot of material. Yeah. Can we extend a little bit? Yeah. Good. Fantastic. Okay. So before we forget this, it's important we go back to the marcato, and we are going to work with two more kind of different of marcato. Is marcato en dos. Before we talk marcato in 4, that the accents are more or less placed in the 4 beats. And now marcato in 2 will mean that yes, the accents are placed in the first and the third beat of the bar, more prominently. Yeah. Sorry, 3-3-3, let's start away from the first beat. Sometimes yes, sometimes not, Roberto. If the 3-3-3 starts in the first beat or not, sometimes, yeah. Given that you have very few examples, you can just check, we can just count. But now we don't have the time. In Malandraca, it starts in the first beat of the bar. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 10 10 10 10. Yeah, you can get it there. In the other one, I'm not sure. I think it starts also in the first beat of the bar, but I'm not sure. I want to focus a little bit more in marcato in 2 and shumba now, because this is very important. So we talk about the accents being in marcato in 4, in the 4 beats, more or less, a little bit less maybe in the second and the fourth, but still very easily recognizable. Marcato in 2, this is something that some musicians consider that it doesn't exist, the marcato in 2. There's always marcato in 4. For us as dancers, in terms of the stimulus that it will create, it will ask from the milonguero, from the social dancer, I think it's good to put a difference between when the accents are in the 4 beats and you can count in 4. The music is asking you to count the 4 beats, or when the music is asking you to count in the first and 2. There has a rebote. 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. That's different than 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. Yeah. And what is most important thing about what we are listening is how we can the interpretation that we can get from that. Yeah, as a dancers, that's what we want. First, understand the difference, and then try to do something different in the movement. So, marcato in 2, the main orchestra that use this is very widely is Carlos Di Sarli. We'll show you a couple of examples, but it's not the only one. It's again used in all the orchestras, but as we were saying, with the offbeat was a brand, part of the brand in Biaggi, while marcato in 2 is part of the brand in Di Sarli. Let me show you a couple of examples. Duelo Criollo. Palabras. One last example, Rodríguez Peña. Something important to note here is that although the bass might be playing a kind of a marcato in 4, the kind of accentuation is more even. What makes the difference is how the bandoneons are placing the accents. Yeah, as we said before, it's not all the orchestra always playing marcato in 4 or marcato in 2 or anything else. In this case, the bass and maybe the piano is putting more accent in the 4. The function of the bass is in kind of a 4-ish, but because the violins and the bandoneons are supporting a lot first and the third, the discharge goes more towards what we can say marcato in 2, marcato in 2, because the accent, it feels more, depending what are you listening. If you are listening just the contrabass, it feels in 4. But the problem is, very rarely you will just listen the contrabass, because what we want to get is the creating a stimulus. So if the stimulus is in a 4, and the bandoneons are putting the accent in the first and the third, that's wrong from the perspective of the musician or the arreglador. So maybe Marisol now can play from marcato in 4 to marcato in 2, so you can get that clear difference.
Okay, I will play the same marcato I played before from Caló in 4 and then in 2 for you to listen the difference. Now in 4. Now in 2. Again, and in 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see, I'm making all the accent down, and in 2, I make only 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And very more delicate in this early. 1, 2, 3, 4. Duelo criollo. One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. In 4 will be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So, thank you. Yeah. What is important to note here is that the beat, the speed is exactly the same, but how the accents are placed, I mean, instead of having only an accent in the first and the third, and there is an addition in the second and the fourth, this generates a different sensation. It feels faster. It feels a little bit more, there's more tension there, no? Well, that's why we do it, to create a little bit of variation. If you are playing in 4, pa, pa, and you suddenly start to play in 2, there's a sense of resting in the music. Or the opposite, if you are in 2 and you play in 4, oh, it feels like we're speeding up, but it's not speeding up, it's just changing a little bit the character in the music, and that's how you do it, yeah? And that's why the difference between marcato in 2 and 4. Yeah. Okay, Nilsa. Thank you. All right, I will show you just a small piece, El Once, first by D'Arienzo with marcato en 4. And now, El Once, marcato en 2, Izarli.
El maestro Di Sarli nos presenta.
Oh, no. D'Arienzo again. Feel if you count in 4 or if you can count in 2. Izarli. All right, I think it's very clear, no? What is the most important thing is that the stimulus that the musicians are trying to, if you feel that you have to count in 4, it's because the stimulus is right. D'Arienzo is trying to make you count in 4. It's trying to generate that kind of anxiety and sense of speed through that kind of accentuation. And Di Sarli is trying to create a different kind of sensation. And if you feel that you are doing marcato in 4, in 2, well, you are doing it right. And he was trying to create, that's why that the style is like more elegant, because it's not hysterical, it's not rushing you. Yeah. To put it very, very simple. So what is important, there's a kind of variation of this marcato in 2, where the accent is in the first and the third, is a kind of exaggeration, is called shumba. Shumba is a kind of marcato that is mainly played by Pugliese and or orchestras that play Pugliese style. And shumba, there's a very specific way. It's being played with the bow, yeah, and the articulation is created in this following way. Normally, you will play like this, in this way, perpendicular to the string, yeah. The shumba has an element that is not only it's not perpendicular. It starts and goes to a little bit up, but it's not going up like this. It's biting the string, instead of is because of the pull. I don't know if you can see it. There is a little bit of movement into the hairs of the bow, creates a little bit of pressure, and when the pressure is released, creates this sensation. And this, again, it's a percussive effect done mainly by the contrabass, and all the other instruments, they copy that articulation. Unfortunately, I don't have my contrabass here with me. Marisol, do you have a contrabass there? No. But we can imagine how it looks. Yes, it's a baby contrabass. This shumba, let me show you how it sounds. So basically, it's a very exaggerated accent in the first and the third beat of the bar, with this specific articulation that it's like like biting into the string. And it sounds like this. This is La Mariposa. And again, in the beginning, it's very clear because it's the contrabass, so almost only. Other example, Balada para un Loco. And one last example, this is De Floreo. And so on. So it's very specific of this style and gives a lot of punch into the music. That Pugliese, of course, if you know a little bit of Pugliese, you get that feeling of I don't know how the fuerza, we say force, is very strong, it's very assertive, very present. Any question about this or anything else that we cover up to here? No? All right, let me see, where are we? Oh, I think, let me see. Are you, all of you are going to be here next Saturday? Yes? Because okay, not everybody. Because, yes, it's with the bow, and it has a specific articulation. So because I have the whole range of syncopas, but I think we won't have enough time. I will have to extend half an hour more. It will be too long for everybody. Maybe there's somebody who's not going to be. Yeah, I will record it next week. So I want to go to one more concept and leave the syncopation for the next week, because we have 5 or 6 different ways of looking at the syncope, and it will be too long, and I don't want to rush it. Yeah. So let's talk about, where is this? Bajo suspension. Okay, a couple of things. There's one percussive effect done by the contrabass that is called strapata. And I will talk about some effects now that are in the bass. Strapata, that it sounds, is like basically like this in the contrabass. And those who were here in the Franchini Pontier talk, I show you a video of how was the strapata. Is that right? Are you familiar with this? No. Okay. I can show you the video. It's going to be easier. Strapata is a percussive effect. Let me see. Yes, it's here.
Ahí. Sí.
Okay, I will show you how it looks. There's a video on YouTube that is very easy to recognize. Let me share the screen, portion of screen, share. And now.
El rebote es muy suavecito. ¿Sí? Es aquí. Así.
Can you see it? Yeah. So that's the strapata. That is that hit. Yeah. That hit that the bassist is doing with the bow into the strings, and it's a completely percussive effect. There's no pitch on it, and it's and this again has a lot of strength, super strong accent when it's properly placed. And I will show you a couple of examples to see how it sounds. Strapata. I didn't mention Bordoneo yet. So I was going to talk about Bordoneo. Okay, let's talk about the strapata. How it sounds. This is La Zumba by Franchini Pontier. It sounds like a drum. Other example, so you see, this is Tigre Viejo. Again, Franchini Pontier. Can you get it? Strapata is easy as that effect, percussive effect, that is done quite a bit in tango, and yeah, it has it's like a percussion, and that the same thing we are going to talk about the percussion into the violins next week. I don't want to rush. What are we? And there's one more effect that is called vomito or vomit. Yeah, that's the right technical name. that is something like rum, that is like a percussive effect that it doesn't have pitch, and it's like a screaming of the musicians with the instrument. And I will show you. Mainly is done by Osvaldo Pugliese again. This is La Rayuela, and it's a cluster of sound with a long arrastre and a big accent at the end. It's called Vómito. That's it. Right from the beginning, it's very short. One more time. Another example in Malandraca. Can you feel the rah? That's like a super accent. Rah. That's why it's called vomito, because it's everything. Yes, they are releasing all the energy there. How it's created, how it's obtained. The bandoneons. Unfortunately, I don't have my bandoneon with me. They press a cluster of notes, random notes, and pull with a lot of strength, and this will create kind of sound. Plus the piano is the same, boom, like a sort of a short glissando, playing a lot of notes. And in the violin, how you do it with the violin?
We just do an arrastre.
An arrastre.
But in musical terms, it's a cluster.
A cluster, yeah. But cluster with the arrastre and an accent at the end, because you can play a cluster with like very light. Sorry?
Yes, all together. Cluster, arrastre, y acento. Accent.
Yeah. And that's a vómito. Again, it's a percussive effect that the more orchestras like Pugliese use it mainly. And to finish, we can finish with Bordoneo. Bordoneo, because I forgot to mention it. Again, we talk about the habanera. Pim, param, pam, pim, parim, pam, pam. We talk about the 3-3-2. Pam, 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 pim, pim, pam, 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 pim, pim, pim. We talk about the 3-3-3, that is like an extension of this 3-3-2 and habanera. And the Bordoneo is a kind of part of the family, sometimes can be played like in 3-3-2. Bordoneo is, bordonas are the lower key strings in the piano, and if you have a guitar, in the guitar. So Bordoneo means that you are playing kind of a melody in the lower part of the piano or the guitar when you are playing a guitar. Bordonear means that there is one tango that is called La Bordona that works a lot in that area of the piano, that is the left hand of the pianist. And I will show you the examples to see how it sounds. This is La Bordona, the version of Osvaldo Pugliese. La Bordona is a tango by Emilio Balcarce. That's it. No. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. This is other version of La Bordona played by Aníbal Troilo. And one Bordona from Evaristo Carriego, again, Pugliese. And that's it. It will be a beautiful cello solo that we are going to discuss next week. So you see, the Bordoneo is these games playing notes, boom, 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 pim, pam, pam, boom, 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 pim, pim, coming very much from the Milonga Campera, that is Milonga from outside of Buenos Aires. That is not the same thing that the Milonga Porteña. That's the Milonga that we dance in the Milonga. So I will show you, and we finish with this, how it sounds a pure Milonga, like Milonga Campera. This is by Atahualpa Yupanqui. It's called Milonga del Peón de Campo.
Yo nunca tuve tropilla.
Yeah, so very nice, simple, of course. One guitar, boom, boom, pim, pim, pam, pam, pim, pam. Sort of a 3-3-2, sort of ish, playing all the subdivision, and that's where the Bordoneo is coming from the music, música criolla, we say, music from the Pampas. Yeah. All right. Any question up to this point? I hope you are not too dizzy with all the amount of information that we shared today. And most of you, I recognize your name or your face from the other talks. So thank you, Marisol, for your help. Again, the Genia Marisol. So next week we are going to talk about the expressive elements. I will try to compress everything in 2 hours. So if you have a little bit of time after, try to make room there, because I don't want to leave anything out. Thank you very much. After next week, we are going to do I think the last talk of this year. That is going to be like the normal talks that are free, and is about Alfredo Gobi Orchestra, the same structure that we have been following through the summer and the last week. Alfredo Gobi's orchestra is a beautiful, again, super cool orchestra, a lot of very nice material to share about that also. If you like these seminars, please go to Tango Music Coach. You know the page. I would really appreciate if you can go there and put a comment or a like in the review part, so we can keep this work moving. Hopefully from next year, we have plans with Marisol to organize a tour, live tour. She's going to come from Buenos Aires, and we are going to tour in Europe, doing this material and some other new material also, with more examples, longer time, chilling out, eating some cake or drinking some wine while we are all together. So thank you very much. I leave one tango for you, and we finish with La Tupungatina by Osvaldo Pugliese. Thank you very much. and good night now. See you next week.